Doesn't fit the description though. And they fight here in the semi-finals of today's Kung Fu Cup. To the bottom right hand side, our red Zerg player. This, my friends, is Rogue. And the top left hand side, current GSL finalist, still playing Kung Fu Cup. A Passion Lord, if nothing else. Our blue Protoss player is Zest. Alright, so game one of this best of three. Gonna get this set up and ready to roll over the next few moments as we do see a gateway coming down on the front, and we wait to see just what sort of direction Zest maybe wants to try and drive this one into. Rogue has shown us a couple of cheeky all-ins against Terran earlier today. He definitely hasn't been playing too many longer matches. That's why he made it to the semi-finals so quickly himself. We did get to see that game 2 between Rogue and Gumiho, and well, it was a lot of roaches, lings, and queens at the Terran base at about the 6-minute marker. So Rogue definitely has aggressive opportunities against Zest, I'm sure. We'll see if he tries to utilize any of them, or if he'll just go towards the more macro-focused play as we do get this set up and rolling. Do let us know in the chat who you're cheering on for this one, guys. If you're cheering on Zest, if you're cheering on Rogue, we want to hear it. We want to hear who you guys want to see doing well as we get into this. So, getting this going and seeing what's going to happen as we get ourselves underway. Cybercore already coming on down, and we are going to be seeing, obviously, that will allow for tech choices to start being made here from Zest. Obviously, very regularly, a Stargate will come down usually to get the Phoenix out, shut down Overlords, go into an Oracle, etc. And kind of just go from there. So we'll see what happens as we see this simulator finishes up as well, and a couple of probes can jump into that gas, start mining away quite comfortably as well. Yeah, Nexus coming up on the natural, and we are going to be seeing another Adept just Corona boosting away right here. So it's Adept going to be popping out, and again, just poking around, just going to come across. Obviously wants to try and check the third base, does eventually come down. Wants to try and see if any units are come across the map or anything along those lines. As you will see, those couple of Zerglings going to chase that probe away, all the way back towards the upper left-hand side. So goodbye, probe, you're gone for now, as the first Adept will take your place. And of course, the Ling's pushing that back, allows the third hatchery to come down without any issue. Yes, the Adept will confirm it's there, but obviously an Adept is not going to kill a hatchery which is building. There's just no real damage output on the Adept against buildings, so he's going to be pretty much just fine right there, as we do see this Adept just going to shed on forwards again. Jumps in towards the natural mineral line, but doesn't really commit in. I mean, there's no real reason to commit in, right? I mean, why would you commit in? Not really much you can get done, as we're going to be seeing the Ling speed going to be finished up soon from Rogue. And again, the Adept just shading to kind of, you know, see the drone count, just confirm, okay, you are going into more workers, you know, you are actually droning up your base. Why is this hatchery? This hatchery was like 11 out of ... That was a bit interesting for a moment. Ran out of space to write what it wanted to write. A little bit intriguing. It's kind of funny, isn't it? That we just have this like little black text box like underneath a Nexus, like underneath a Chrono Boost shit or health bar and stuff. That just tells you how many workers there are nowadays. It just never used to be a thing, right? Like, it's funky. I just kind of thought about how weird it is that we just suddenly have random like text on the map nowadays with workers. 3 out of 3 workers, 16 out of 16. Back in the day, you used to see players who would go around their bases and just box their units, box their drones, just count, okay, I do have 16 workers here and there, and all the rest of it. Very typical Phoenix lift into the Oracle, picking up a couple of drones right there. So far the Stargate plays as we expected to be, and with a second Stargate coming up, it's time now for Zest to get in towards further Phoenix production. So he's going to start applying a lot of Phoenix-based pressure. One of the first issues for Rogue here is figuring out that this is going on. Because if you don't know that this is happening, you're not necessarily going to be able to start preparing against it. Spore crawls and queens in the right locations, for example, extra queen production, Hydra's den nice and quickly. So that's got to be stage 1 of this right now, I feel. Making sure you can confirm just what is happening. As we do see this Palon down here from Zest to the top side, we do see this Phoenix from Zest. Looking around the right hand side as well, gets a couple of shots off onto the Overlord. And the Nexus going down on the third base as well. A lot of Lings actually from Rogue, with the Bane and S finishing it up. I mean, if we don't see drones on the next round of production, I'm a little bit worried about just how aggressive this could be, because there's a lot of lings now. That said, it's the kind of time of the game where you could expect an Archon drop, and again, Rogue is very blind as to what's going on. He hasn't seen anything in the main base. He hasn't seen the Phoenix on the map either, because they've been kept in the main as well. So I think these lings are really just kind of, preparation for the potential attack of, a couple of Archons, further Zealot warp-ins from that point as well. There's a lot that can be done with that, so I think this is just kind of, the units which he usually has to make. Obviously in this scenario, though, when it's Phoenix, those units do not really have much of a role to play. And he will actually fight against this Zealot here, but will not commit once the Oracle shows up. Revelation as well to keep track of more of those lings. Banes do end up moving in aggressively, so we will see something here out of Rogue, even if he will drone behind it. And there is the drones coming up now. Lair starts up as well. He'll be able to go into +2 melee with that, and of course open up access towards the Hydra's Den. As coming forwards, we are going to be seeing the first Overlord already going down. So as Overlord goes down, and now a second, and already Rogue is in some trouble. He's going to lose even more Overlords over here. It's a massive supply block for him. Oracle will see Banelings moving towards the natural expansion. There is not really any units here at all just yet. It looks as though maybe he didn't actually realize these units were coming in. As these Banes crush on in, well, suddenly these Flings are going to get a lot of kills as well. So while it's very nice that these Phoenix are getting a lot of damage done, it's not brilliant that there's going to be a lot of workers going down on the other side of the map at the same time. Adepts and Sentries trying to do what they can. Phoenix are picking up pretty much every single Queen. Zest has already lost the majority of his main base, the majority of his natural, and the third base probes are pulling away as well. So 15 probes at the moment from Zest. He has a huge army supply advantage, but most of it's in Phoenix. So what do you even do with Phoenix? I mean, I guess you can dive in for a lot of drones, but to kill 40 workers, that is not easy. In any sort of imaginary world. As we're going to be seeing some Adepts coming in here and some Lings taking some extra damage. Those Lings going to pop it down to the low ground, and another couple of Immortals still just on the way out. Phoenix still setting up here in the bottom right hand side. Lings are working their way through a couple of pylons. The Adept taking some damage as well. More Lings coming towards the top left hand side. Hydra's Den will finish up in a moment from Rogue. So again, as that Hydra's Den finishes, we will have the Hydra production underway for himself, I'm sure. Phoenix on the right hand side here, lifting up a few of these drones. Actually getting them out of gas is obviously really nice. Queen goes down as well. Cancels that Spore Crawler right there, and we are going to see the Lings with us around. Guess the Adept still in the main base causing chaos. Zest still has an army supply advantage, but obviously with 51 workers against 24, eventually you'd imagine that this is going to become an army supply advantage for Rogue. As soon as he gets the Hydras on the way, starting to really come up here. So we're going to see the Phoenix trying to pick up a few more drones. Brings it to only a double the worker lead now. I mean, it's still kind of insane, right? It's a massive lead at the moment as we do see those Phoenix still just gathering together, several spores firing away, and, well, Zest. I mean, again, that's his issue, right? How does he kind of get his army to do something if, what does he even have with an army to move across the map with? Not a lot. That's Lings into the natural against another big mistake that he can't really be affording here. A couple of Adepts are around. He will be able to clean this up eventually. He's got this right now, actually, which is fine, but again, it's the probes that take a little bit more damage. He's back below 30. And now the Hydra's starting to come out, and again, the Hydras are just going to rip these Phoenix apart. And the army supply that Zest does have an advantage in his favor still, if only slightly, is, again, not really looking too great in terms of actually being able to find a fight. Crew of Spine's about to finish up on the Hydra Den. More Lings on the way out as well. Still more Phoenix going to back away off over to the left side. Immortal is going to be on its way out as well. Bane's continuing to come on up right here. As the Hydraling Bane Force hits the +2 melee upgrade, obviously Rogue can in general just get very aggressive himself, moving around the map and starting to run Banes into mineral lines, one-shotting probes. It was quite deadly, actually. And there's two Banes right here. I mean, you just roll in here, if you just get a couple of hits off on one set of probes on the other, boom, a lot of work is killed just like that, and Zest is once again kept at just about 40-ish workers. While Rogue sits on only 52. It's actually a big surprise to me that Rogue hasn't really produced a lot of a lot more workers. Like, he hasn't droned it massively. He has been focusing on army, And you know, that might come back to hurt Rogue a little bit here, because while he has been ahead in workers all this time, maybe he could have had more of a lead. Maybe he could have had more room to work with at this stage. Definitely feels like there's possibilities here which have perhaps been somewhat missed out on. Phoenix coming back up to the top. Lingers moving through the center. 10 Banelings on the way up. 12 Banelings on the way up at the moment. Forfatcher coming down on the gold base. So Forfatcher comes down on the gold. Still a few Phoenix to set around here. We're going to see these Hydras. Just going to keep on pushing forwards. Banes coming in, and yeah, a few Lings and Banes up to the top will obviously really make this difficult. Few drones fan transferring to the gold. That's nice catches from the Phoenix. Again, that's the issue. What are these Phoenix going to do now when Banes are rolling in towards the gold base, into the third base here, when the Hydras are here to fight as well? There's not a lot you can really do. I mean, the forces come down, the Phoenix going to lift up a couple Hydras off to the side, I imagine. They're going to get targeted down so quickly if he's not careful. Banes, a few of them made their way through, and, well, some sentries went down, another couple survived just about, gets a couple more force fields off. Stasis wards are keeping Zest alive at the moment. As he loses the Nexus, I mean, is he really going to be kept alive? Or is he just going to be having his death prolonged? More probes going down too, and again, Rogue with that counter-attack of Lings really turned this game around after the Phoenix were initially starting to get so much. I like the worker tab as well. People, it's really funny because people seem to think this all the time. They think I sabotage the stream because I don't like things. Like, trust me, I like seeing how many workers die too. It makes my job a lot easier. I don't have to count. I can just, you know, if harassment happens, it shows up on the side of the screen. Upgrades finishing shows up. You know, so much. You know, it's a massive benefit for me. And some people are like, Wardy, just, you know, you're just such a bad caster because you just don't ever show us the workers killed. You just, you know, you just, honestly, I just don't know why. You just hate it. You just, so, I know that's not what you were saying just then, but some people do come in with that attitude. I'm just like, guys, like, are you serious? It's the same people who have the attitude of like, Wardy, I cannot believe you're taking another break. Like, what the hell, man? What do you mean the players need to have a minute to breathe? What do you mean the players need to veto? That's not acceptable. It's really mind-blowing sometimes. Not saying again that chat's doing that right now, just going off on a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a side topic. Yeah, but it does kind of suck. I do agree, because I love having it up as well. It is very useful. We'll probably get it in for the finals, maybe even the second semi-final. It just depends who hosts the lobby. Some Korean players host with it. Sometimes Crank is able to message them before they host, and he's like, hey, look, I'll host if you just let me know what's going on. As we do have to the top right-hand side, our Red Zerg player. As we go into game number 2, it is Rogue. And at the bottom left-hand side, our Blue Pros player, Zest. Tell all players they ever have to let you host the lobby or they can F right off. Well, the issue is it's not my tournament, so I don't really have that power. That's the weirdest thing. The Chinese casters don't care. The Chinese casters actually don't care about game hard either. It really blows my mind. It was kind of funny. And yeah, Raz and Nanas, I know you weren't saying anything against me. I was just going off on a side tangent. I just trying to make it clear that I didn't think you were saying that at all. I know you weren't. I was just having a little bit of a meme at the start of this game as we got things going. Just killing a couple of minutes while obviously not much is going on just yet, because right now not much is going on just yet if we have a look at this game. Drone comes off to make a third hatch though. And you're going to see the pylon just going to get thrown down to block this. Is the other side of the bracket being streamed, asks BTH Cobb. Is that BTH? Sorry, Buckob. Sorry, I have a little mark on my screen over the U and your name. It looks like a T. Well, I am actually in game on Lysira Hero Game 2. Hero's currently 1-0 up. I'll show that in the picture here just quickly, but there's really not a lot going on because it's 2.5 minutes in game. In fact, they're on the same map as well, so it's actually kind of weird because they're both players are kind of opening the same way right now. Just Hero's about 30 seconds behind Zest. So that series is going on. If something interesting happens, then I will come in with, you know, a little bit of an update there. But right now, Hero is 1-0 up against Lysira. And no matter what, no matter when that series finishes and when this one finishes, we will be casting both semi-finals. So the second semi-finals will be casted no matter what. So if you are looking towards seeing Impact play against the winner of Lysira Hero, that will be on stream after this matchup. Robo facility thrown down at the front in this wall off as well, just continuing along here Zest with a couple of adepts just filling this little gap as well. The Cybercore, its warp gate is about 75% the other way done. And as that finishes, well, on the other side, Rogue is still just going up in towards his lair. So, lair is coming through, a couple of Spore Crawlers are dropping, and we do see another Queen on the way out, just preparing for this Phoenix Oracle combination. Just the one Oracle this time around, going straight into the Robo facility in a Twilight as a follow-up. And obviously no second Stargate this time. It's obviously kind of an assumption made when I say there's a Twilight and a Robo. So lack of a second Stargate, big change from Zest. So with the Twilight and the Robo, we'll see right away. I mean, I imagine an Observer usually comes out pretty fast here. And then you can go to, well, actually the Warp Prism, I guess, because he's wanting to throw down Templar Archives, of course. Apologies. So he will go into Templar Archives very quickly, and obviously this opens Zest's next stage of this game, which is with the 4 gateways. You can warp in 4 High Templar, 2 Archons. You harass with the first Prism. You can warp in a few extra Zealots to support it here and there. And it really keeps the Zerg pinned back. It really keeps the Zerg trading. It just in general, Zest is able to, you know, really apply pressure to Rogue at a very low cost of just 4 High Templar. And the Warp Prism too. And the best thing is, generally, you know, with good control, you should never really lose that, and that's why it's so safe, and it's such a great way to harass, because the Warp Prism keeps those Archons so safe. And if you do get in trouble, boom, 1 recall, and all of a sudden that Warp Prism is back at home, on the 3rd base, you know, able to drop those Archons off, and boom, you're defending with them as well. So, it's a very popular way to play nowadays. We do see Prism will set up to get warped in, but obviously at the moment, we actually don't see the Templar Archives finish, and now the Lings have found the Prism. That actually means that, well, actually, Oracle is here to protect these High Templar. Okay, it's going to be okay in the end. For the moment, I was a little bit scared with more Lings running in, but they finished warping in, so once they're warped in, they can morph into Archons. They have a lot more health as Archons. Well, shields, technically. And with a lot more shields, of course, they're going to be able to survive the Ling shots, and it doesn't really become worthwhile to lose the Lings to the Oracle. Love this though, already a Spine Core to this side is obviously a very intriguing introduction, because we don't really usually see that. Static defense against these sort of builds isn't used a lot because it's kind of hard to get in the right place. It's the only place on the map with a Spine Core though, so Rogue is obviously very aware of the fact that Zest is probably going to be attacking in that sort of location. Really nicely done, because it does for now push the Archons back without any cost at all, and Rogue's even able to keep a few Lings on the map, which are going to try and look to see if they can do anything towards this 3rd base. But honestly, I don't think they will be able to. They'll get surrounded on this Immortal, maybe the best they'll get. If the Oracle pops his Pulsar Beam, it's not going to be in time. Immortal goes down. Great pick-off for those Zerglings. I mean, if they're going to find anything, that was kind of the dream. Was that the Warp Prism? Oh my god, Zest has just lost everything. He lost his Immortal, he just lost 2 Archons in the Prism. And that, my friends, that is troubling. Oh dear. Well, suddenly Rogue's counterattack is going to be looking absolutely insanely powerful. Hydra's already coming off over to this left-hand side. Banelings are already morphing in here from Rogue as well. Oh dear. Oh freaking dear. Well, a couple of Zods, Adepts, and Immortal just sat around here. Hydra's going to work their way through these rocks. As these rocks get taken down, it's going to open up the access of some Ling Bane to move on through. So here we go. Banes are going to approach forwards. Again, Hydra's going to start getting to work. The Storm comes down. That is something which Zest has, at least some Storms. There's no Baneling speed just yet, which is obviously kind of being missed at the moment. Issue is now there's only 1 Storm remaining. Stasis Ward goes off on just a single Zergling too, and Zest really needed that to connect a little bit better if this was going to work. There's the final Storm, but Zest, there's not enough, because right now these Banes are still around. These Hydras are still kiting very nicely. He's going to get rid of this Archon before the Banes are able to do much more. Lings are streaming in as well, and as the Lings streaming in especially, it really hurts. Banes actually find themselves onto the Zealots, on towards... he's going to find the Warp in the Zealots as well. And this 3rd Nexus goes down. There's the GG. Rogue makes it to his 3rd Kung Fu Cup